Hi, welcome to Little Bighorn Treasure Hunting Sources, number 27. Today I'm going to talk about the Fetterman Massacre, which happened December 21st, 1866, and it happened there close to the Wyoming-Montana border, and it'd be just south of the where the Little Bighorn battle was many years later, 10 years later. And they considered that the Red Cloud Wars. And what happened there is a wood train went out and it was cutting wood, and the Sioux and Cheyenne, many of the famous warriors, were also there. Two Moon, Crazy Horse, White Bull, Sitting Bull's nephew. And they had set up a decoy and they attacked the wood train, Crazy Horse, with 40 warriors. So then the Colonel Carrington of Fort Phil Kearny, he sent out Captain Fetterman and Captain Brown with 49 infantry soldiers, along with Second Lieutenant Grumman with 27 mounted soldiers. And there were also two civilians with them. The two civilians had Henry rifles. The cavalry, they had 1865 Spencers, which I'm going to show you two here of that model. And the infantry had just the old muzzle-loading rifles, the 1863 model Springfields and 58 caliber. And so they went to, as ordered, to relieve the wood train, and they were also ordered twice not to go over the Lodgepole Ridge, which was a ridge that they were cutting the wood off of. And so as the cavalry advanced, they were well ahead of the infantry. They got up to the top of the ridge that Crazy Horse and his 40 warriors went over, and they looked down below, and here is a lone warrior, and his horse appears to be lame. And that warrior's name was Crazy Hearted Wolf. And he didn't, just was pretending, and the cavalry marched down the hill riding hell-bent for leather because it was like dogs chasing after a cat. And they didn't realize that Mad-Hearted Wolf had a lance behind his horse. And as they approached him, they sprung a trap, and all these warriors came out, and they annihilated the 27, actually 28, including the second lieutenant, Grumman, and took all their weapons, and they went ahead and continued back up the ridge just as the infantry was approaching. And they took and they devastated and killed all the infantry. So all the men were killed, and that's why they called it the Battle of 100 in Hand, or the Battle of 100 Slain. And here, out of those 27 or 28 carbines, actually the second lieutenant carried an 1860 Spencer, I was able to acquire 2 of the 27, which is just a total blessing and unbelievable. And the first one that we're showing here, this one belonged to Old Little Dog. Now, they made a movie, Western, with the cavalry and the Indians. It's called White Feather, and 2 of the Indians, the last one was a Cheyenne named American Horse, who I showed you, the 1860 Army, and the other head warrior in it was Little Dog. Well, this is Old Little Dog, so there's a difference, but I thought that was quite a coincidence because I just saw that movie White Feather. And the history on this is, during my examination of this 1865 Burnside Spencer carbine, serial number 29168, I discovered the name Old Little Dog written in togi on the right side of the stock with the following message: Battle 100 in Hand, Ambush, Trail, Many Soldiers, Cheyenne, Old Little Dog. This is shown on illustration 1. On the left side of the stock, I found another message in Togia which states: Battle, Little Sheep's Creek, Greasy Grass, Kill Many Soldiers, Cheyenne, Old Little Dog, is shown on illustration 2. I found Cheyenne, Old Little Dog written on the left side of the forearm, as shown on illustration 3. Old Little Dog was born in 1843 to Northern Cheyenne parents. He became He grew to be a great warrior, and based on the Togia message written on the Spencer, he took this weapon at the Battle of 100 in Hand, also known as the Fetterman Massacre. Old Little Dog also participated in the Little Bighorn and rode with Two Moon and the rest of the Northern Cheyenne. As described in the message on the Spencer, Old Little Dog tells of killing many soldiers at the Little Sheep's Creek. For some unknown reason, he also calls the battle Greasy Grass, possible in honor to the Sioux who used that name. Old Little Dog surrendered with Two Moon in April 1877 to General Miles, and they lived there the rest of his life. And then the next one we have here, this is not the actual gun. This is another 1865 model. And I'll talk about this one later because it has the name Hall on it. But this is the one I keep telling you about that is missing. Serial number 857, the 1865 Spencer. And I lost it it didn't get sold at this auctions. The other ones I know got sold. This one just disappeared. So it's basically stolen. Even though I didn't get paid for any of the other stuff from this auction, this one never got bought and it's stolen. So if anybody could find this, and I'm going to tell you the history on it now, and you can see why it's so valuable. This is one of 27, let alone it belonged to Sitting Bull's nephew, White Bull. And here's the history. During my examination of this 1865 Spencer saddle ring carbine 857, I discovered the name White Bull Mini Kanju written in Togia on the upper wrist, as shown on illustration 1. On the left side of the wrist, I found the Mini Kanju mark, and White Bull is written twice, as shown on illustration 2. Under the saddle ring bar on the left wrist, I found the following message: White Bull Mini Kanju 100 in Hand. This is shown on illustration 3. On the left side of the stock, I found another Togia message which states, White Bull, hunt, kill plenty buffalo. White Bull, Mini Kanju, is shown on illustration 4. The following Togia message is found on the right side of the stock. Battle, 100 in Hand, Mini Kanju, White Bull, kill soldier. See illustration 5. White Bull, Mini Kanju is also found written on the left forearm, as shown in illustration 6. White Bull was born in 1849, son of Chief Makes Room and Good Feather Woman, who was Sitting Bull's sister. White Bull had 6 wives. Must have been busy. Anyway, it says in the history from Wendell, I met David Bald Eagle, White Bull's grandson, in the late 1860s when I was working on the Cheyenne River Reservation in South Dakota. David's parents were Mini Kanju but died at a young age, so David was raised by his grandparent in a one-room log cabin on the reservation. White Bull, his grandfather, was the nephew of Sitting Bull. David and I sat together many times talking about his grandfather and all the stories David had heard as a child about guns in the Lakota battles. White Bull's first battle against the whites occurred at the Battle of 100 in Hand, also known as the Fetterman Massacre, on December 21st, 1866, at Fort Phil Kearny in present-day Wyoming. According to David, his grandfather, White Bull, rushed a brave pony soldier, shot him through the head with an arrow, and then struck him again in the head with his lance to count coup. He then took the soldier's carbine and revolver, and the great coup was recorded on the weapons in Togia. The same story is described by D. Brown in his book about the Fetterman Massacre. Based on the Togia messages written on this carbine, I believe this was the carbine White Bull took at the Fetterman Massacre. I have also found the revolver, which is an 1860 Colt percussion .44 caliber revolver, serial number 158551. Now, real quick, if we can go back here and you see the mark here on that for the 100 in Hand, you see how you're using the same symbols here on White Bull's gun. So anyway, this is going to be a real unusual mark because there weren't that many pieces available. I hope you enjoyed this, and please, if you can find number 857 for me, I'd really appreciate it. My email is lbhtreasure@gmail.com. Really appreciate hearing from you. Not just on that, but anything else you might want to talk about. Thank you, and God bless.